Hello YouTube, this is my FN model 1910. I've had this for a number of years. It's an intriguing little pistol. It's got quite a history. It was the same model of pistol that Gavrilo Princip used to assassinate Archduke Ferdinand, whose death ultimately led to the outbreak of World War One. It's aesthetically not the most pleasing of pistols, but and I have to say it's not even the most pleasant of pistols to shoot. The sights are pretty shocking. It's a tiny little post and notch setup, which to be honest are very, very difficult to see, so you don't really want to be shooting anyone more than 10 meters away. But hopefully it'll never come to that. But as a target pistol, forget it. But it is interesting. Okay, to begin the disassembly, we need to make sure that the pistol is safe. And we will do that by removing the magazine, pulling the slide back, and as we can see, the chamber is empty. However, we need to reinsert the magazine, cock it, pull the trigger, remove the magazine again. Now, first thing we need to do is remove the end cap. Normally you would use a tool. I don't have a tool, so what we need to do is push this end cap in, and as you look at it, you need to rotate it 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So keep it under some pressure, otherwise it will fly off because of the recoil spring. Okay, to remove the slide, push the slide back to almost as far as it will go. Rotate the barrel again anti-clockwise as far as it will go, and then remove the slide. So remove the barrel from the slide, rotate the barrel back to its normal position, and remove. Okay. Next thing, to remove the frame, we need to remove the grips. Screw them. Place them to the side. And here is our frame. So, to remove the frame, we need to remove this little safety. Now the safety is under a spring-mounted tension, so we need to push it up, keep some pressure on it, and then just let it come out naturally, but keep some pressure on it so it doesn't fly away. Okay. Then we take a punch, and the next thing we need to do is remove the grip safety. So just keep your hand firmly on the grip safety, and with your punch just remove that little retaining pin down the side. It should just slip out. Now the grip safety should come out, the hammer spring and the mag release. Next we want to remove the magazine safety. Again, take your punch and insert it into this little pin here, pushing, and then that should just fall out. Now there's a little spring on the end of that magazine release. You don't want to lose it. Okay, here's your pin. And now we just need to remove the sear and the trigger connector, so they should just pop out. And of course, if you want, you can remove the trigger as well. No real need, but I'll show you how to do it. Just take your punch, place it on top of the pin that holds the trigger, and give it a tap. Okay. There you have it. Pretty simple process, nothing overly taxing there. I'm not a gunsmith, and I think most people can do it. Right, to reassemble we just need to put everything back in reverse order. So let's start with the trigger. Set the trigger into the trigger housing, and line up the hole for the retaining pin. Now, all the retaining pins are interchangeable with the exception of the pin that holds the trigger, because that's a little bit thinner than the other three. So 1, 2 punches or hammers, and there you go. Right. Sear is one of the first things that we need to put back into place. But before we put the pin in, it's helpful to get the trigger connector in as well, because that can be quite tricky otherwise. Okay, I'm sorry about the lighting and the filming here. Okay, so what we need to do now is just return this retaining pin and just give it a tap. So with a bit of luck now, the sear should be in place, and so should the trigger connector. Right, after they're in place, we need to put the magazine safety in, and that goes in with the spring pointing down towards the grip. Okay, so again we just line up the hole, find our pin, and it should just go into place. Good. Now take the hammer spring, insert the end of the hammer spring into the magazine release. You'll see there's a little notch there that it should just fit into, and then insert the hammer spring so that the left side of the hammer spring is pressing against the trigger connector, and the right side is pushing up against the sear. Okay, now with the grip safety, just insert that, push it in, find your pin, and it should just fall into place. One of the last things we want to do is reinsert the safety from the top. So push it in and push down. Then you find your grips, line them up, and then just screw them up. Okay. Slide reassembly is pretty simple. Just reinsert the striker mechanism, and then with the barrel, place it in with the locking lugs facing down. When you get to this point here, you want to rotate the barrel anti-clockwise as you look at it from the barrel. Place a slide back onto the frame, push it back, rotate the barrel back to its normal position. End cap, you can see there are two little notches there on the side. They need to go back on such that they are on the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock position, and then good job, my screen was there. That needs to be pushed back fairly firmly. and then rotate 90 degrees clockwise. And there you have it. I hope that was a benefit to some of you. Apologies for the filming, the light and the sound. It's my first time. I have made a number of them, but this is the first one that I've published and it's the best of the bunch. If I do any more, I hope they'll be better. Anyway, thank you for your time. Cheers.